back, and today we're going to be doing my inventory. So I talked about doing this when I was decluttering. I ended up deciding not doing a rest of my collection declutter on camera, mainly because there wasn't too many things that I was getting rid of. It was mainly just a powder and one or two blushes that I was like, I don't like these, why do I still have them? And everything else I was really holding on to. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to be going through my inventory. I organize everything in my written inventory in Google Sheets. So I'm going to be inserting screenshots of my Google Sheet as we're going through. I have the product type and then the list of the products that I have for most of my collection, and then lip products is a little bit different. I have lip product type like gloss liner or whatever, and then the brand, and then the color, because I have an unnecessary amount of lip products, but we're going to get into that. That's a later problem. You also will notice as I go through that certain things are highlighted. That's how I keep track of what I'm panning. So blue is, or this kind of light lapis color is my year-long project pan. Orange is graveyard project pan. Pink is my Lippies project, and there's one purple, and that's my Pan That palette. That's just how I like to organize things. So at a glance, I can go through and be like, okay, I have an unnecessary amount of primers, but I'm panning a primer, and then when that's done, I'll probably pan a new primer, or I'll start panning the next primer that I feel the need to do so. So that is how I visually see and watch myself kind of work through products. Without much further ado, let's get into it. Starting with primer. That was my example because I'm looking at the list of primers. I have 10, yes. That is an unnecessary amount. No, wait, no, I have 11. That's great. I only had 4, and then I got a giveaway from Serene Wu. She's incredible. It was really fun getting that giveaway from her, and it had 8 primers in it. So that's just something that I'm going to get to try and work through. I'm really excited about digging into some of those. And also, I got this giveaway last February, and I didn't actually add any of them into my spreadsheet until 2 weeks ago when I actually updated everything. I was doing this really bad thing where there was a couple boxes or bags of product that I hadn't really opened yet, and I kind of put them all in a box and then put the box away from the rest of my makeup, and then I wasn't counting it as a part of my collection because it wasn't with the rest of my makeup, which is absurd. And I realized that I was doing that, and I fixed that, obviously. So that's why my primer seems to have more than doubled, because I stopped lying to myself about the primers that were actually in my collection. Next, we have foundation. This was another thing that I was doing really good on, and then I got a gift and I stopped lying. I only have 3. Right now I'm panning one of them, and that one I think should take me 2 or 3 months to finish up. Then I'm going to move on to ColourPop. One is older, but the Coola one, I'm worried about it expiring first, so I think I might move on to the Coola one. And that also has high SPF. SPF tends to break me out, so I might have to either end up not using the Coola one, if it breaks me out, or seeing if there's a way I can rotate it with the ColourPop one to where it doesn't break me out. If I only wear it for a week straight and then switch back to the ColourPop one, then I might have to do that, which sounds super high maintenance, but it is what it is. Then for concealer, I have 3 right now. 2 of them are e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealers that are almost done, and then one is my RMS Uncover Up Concealer. So when I'm done with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camos, I'll move on to my RMS Uncover Up, and then I don't know what I'm going to do for concealer after that. I don't know if I can really justify having a $20 concealer as my only concealer. I might go back to e.l.f. Uncover Up Hydrating Camo. We shall see. Again, I've been trying to get my collection to a more sustainable place, but the RMS concealer has a plastic lid too. like that's my issue, is the fact that the RMS concealer has a plastic lid and a glass jar, and so does the e.l.f. one. So then I'm like, what's better about the RMS concealer? That's not more sustainable. So I don't know. Then for powder, I have two. I have my Coty Airspun loose powder, which is what I use pretty much every day, and then I have a old Olay compact that has two Kat Von D loose powder minis pressed into it. That powder I'm not too worried about, because that pressed powder, the repressed pressed powder, is what I'm going to take with me if we ever start traveling again, and then that'll just kind of be my like travel powder. And then my Coty Airspun Loose is gonna last me like 3 years. I have no intention of buying another powder. Um, I would be tempted to buy another pressed powder because I prefer pressed powder for traveling, but that depends entirely on how much I actually think we're gonna be traveling in the next like couple of years, and if I use up those Kat Von D minis. Then we have bronzer, and I'm actually doing really good in this area. We have the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette that I'm panning, and then I have one Benefit Hoola, and this is where things start to get a little bit confusing because these are my only like bronzers. Technically the Tarte palette is a face palette, but it only has bronzer and then pressed powder, so I just included it as a bronzer. And then I do have some face palettes with bronzers in them, and then I do have a tiny, like teeny tiny little bronzer pan in my Z palette, so that's also something that I want to pan in the future. But as far as standalone bronzers, those are really my only two, and then other than that, I really only have maybe like 3 or 4 more bronzers just in various palettes and things like that. And that's something that I would try to pan those ones in palettes before I bought a new standalone bronzer. But seeing that number so small does still make me really happy, even though in the back of my mind I know that I don't only have 2 bronzers. Next is blush. So as you may know, I'm panning my Tarte Party. I'm almost done with that. Then we just have a lot of blushes, which I think is funny because blush is not even one of my favorite makeup products. Like, I have zero problem panning my Tarte blush because I'm like, I wear the same blush every day. So I don't know what I'll pan next. I might kind of move away from panning blush and pan some like lipsticks and things like that as blush for my 21 Lippies project. So this may not see some progress for a really long time, or I may just kind of lean towards like my shinier blushes as like toppers and then still use the lipsticks. That might be what happens in the next year or so until I wrap up my Lippies project, but we shall see. Also, again, blush takes forever and ever to pan, so I don't expect to really have that much difference on these in the next year or so. But I like all of the blushes in my collection right now, and I want to get more use out of them. I just really want to do it in a mindful way, so I'm not going to just like immediately start panning something else as soon as I'm done with this Tarte Party one. Then for face palettes, I have one from Nars that was limited edition last spring, I want to say. It was like some sort of spring collection. It's called the Overlust palette. I have my Pixie Rach Loves highlighter palette. Love that one. My Ofra, I have a little 3 bronzer blush highlighter trio from Ofra. My Hourglass Ambient Lighting and my Hourglass Ambient Lighting edit. I also have a Z palette with some face products in it and some eye products. I have been playing around with the idea of doing a pan that face palette next year. Again, we shall see. It depends a lot on how this year goes with panning. But that would definitely be something I'm interested in doing. And then highlighter is an area that I know is out of control because I know I'm never going to be able to use all of these up in a timely manner. Like, I have like 10 years worth of highlighter in my collection, but I love all of them, and so I'm just gonna kind of keep going with it. I'm panning 2 right now, and they're going pretty well. Not as well as I was hoping, but it's okay. We're just gonna keep going with it. Highlighter is an area that I'm more forgiving with myself because it brings me so much happiness in my life. Then we have single shadows. It's a lot of Stila Magnificent Metal liquids, a couple nude stick pencils, a couple, it's almost all cream or liquid eyeshadows, and then I have a couple random like loose little pots of like loose eyeshadow or like a glitter. Anyways, I don't know how panning these is going to go. I think what's going to end up happening is a lot of the liquid ones are going to end up drying out, and I'll let those go. Um, and then I'm much better at panning cream eyeshadow sticks. I panned one last year, and I would love to pan my cargo eyeshadow stick and maybe some of these nude sticks before they expire, but I don't know what that would look like. Then for primer, I have three, which is way more than necessary. I'm honestly just trying to get through my eye primers, and then I'm never going to buy an eye primer again. But I also don't want to throw them away and be wasteful. My Lorac behind the scenes is almost done. I was panning it most of last year, and then that project pan closed. I kind of just was sick of eye primer, and so I took a little bit of a break, and then now I'm using the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish one. When I finish that, I'm gonna finish up the Lorac eye primer, and then I'll move on to the ABH eye primer mini that I have. For palettes, I have 35 eyeshadow palettes. I know I haven't been saying all of the numbers I have of things. Let's do single shadows really quickly. I have 21 single eyeshadows, 9 highlighters, 12 single blushes. I think those were the ones I missed. 35 eyeshadow palettes is a lot. I'm not pretending it's not. I am doing a pan that palette. Hopefully I will have that completely moved out. There are a couple that I should probably let go. I'm just not ready to do that yet. And then I'm hoping to do more of a rotating project next year where I use more palettes rather than trying to focus on one and get it completely used up. A lot of my palettes are small. I have a lot of MAC 9 pan palettes. I have like some little teeny tiny ones from Natasha, Tarte, Almay, things like that. I have a small one from Lorac. So those definitely could get moved out pretty easily, especially if I started working on them in the sense that I will pan everything that I'm interested in panning and then let it go. So there's those, but I'm not, again, eyeshadow is something I'm more forgiving with myself on, not too worried about like cutting that down to a specific number. Eyeliners, I have 15. That's gonna go down soon, mainly because I think some of them are bad and I need to let them go. And like by bad I mean dried out. And so I think my liquid liners, by the end of the year, my goal is to have all of my liquid liners used up, or if they're dried out, just let them go. It's not, I keep holding on to them because I feel bad about letting them go, but I need to do that. So that's something that will happen hopefully by the end of the year, because that would be 4 of these. And then that would be 9 eyeliners. And then I'm panning one in my year long as well. That's like a stick eyeliner. So that would hopefully get me down to 8. I don't mind having eyeliners of different colors. What I would like to get rid of in here is repeats. Like I have like 4 like pencil black eyeliners. I don't need 4. So that is my goal for those. Mascara, I have a good number of mascara. I have 9, I think. A lot of them are minis. One of them's a primer and one of them is like a waterproof top coat. I just got a bunch of minis. I was subscribed to Sephora Play for the longest time, and there was a mascara mini almost every single month in that box. And then, of course, like you order something from Sephora or Ulta, you get little like gifts with purchases and stuff like that. So I do have a good amount of mascara. I won't need to buy mascara for like at least another year or two. I'm just kind of like, I'll open one at a time, use it, and then as it's running out, or like as it's drying up, I'll open the next one. And so sometimes I'll have like 2 or 3 open at a time, but for the most part, I'm really only using one mascara at a time. Facial spray is another area that I was lying to myself about how many I actually had, because I put a bunch of them. I was like, oh, I haven't used these yet, or oh, I don't really use these often. So I was like, oh, I only have 2. No, I don't. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. Many of them are minis. But I'm very excited to get some moved out. My Mario Badescu one's almost done. I'm panning my all-nighter. My MAC Fix Plus Mini is also almost done. So that's 3. The Catrice Prime and Fine is like straight up vodka in a bottle. It burns on your face. Do not buy that one. So I only use it to rehydrate like liquid eyeshadows and things. So that one's going to take a while to use up, but I do want to use it up. I don't want to just throw it away because it does have a use, and actually the fact that it's so alcoholic makes it kind of good for rehydrating eyeshadows. But yeah. And then brow product was another thing that I was lying about how many I actually had, but this one's kind of a good lie. I don't know if you can tell, but I have a lot of things that are in dark brown, medium brown, because I got a lot of brow products in that giveaway. Some of the face sprays were also in the giveaway. And I don't, well, okay, right now it looks like I have brown hair. I like, I tend to go more taupe blonde with my brows. That's just what I think looks best on me. I also tend to lighten my hair, so that goes better with the lighter brows anyways. So I don't think I will actually use all of these dark and medium brown brow products, but just like a few of the primers, I have specific people in my life where I think they'll like and use them, but I didn't want to not include them in the inventory and just pretend I didn't have them because I do. So I feel like there are going to be a couple primers and some of these eyebrow products that are going to be given away in the next couple of months to friends and maybe family members. I just didn't want to pretend I didn't have it just for the sake of like making my chart look better. And now lipsticks, or lip products. I'm just gonna say the scary number. I have 129 lip products. Wait, 128. I have 128 lip products, which is a lot. It is an unnecessary number. A lot of them are minis, and I am actively panning a lot of lip products. So I am hoping to get this number down to a reasonable number. This number was even higher. It was like at 193. And then I did a huge lip declutter. If you missed it, I'll link it down below. And also, I got a lot more honest with myself about what lip products I actually had. That was another thing where I had a big old bag of product that I was keeping in a drawer that I would pretend I didn't have when I was doing my inventory. And so now I'm being honest about all of the lip products that I actually have in my collection. But I have 15 more lip products that I want to get used up by my 21st birthday, which is a little bit less than a year from now. So hopefully I will be able to do that, and then after doing that, I want to do another lip declutter where I'm more honest about myself about what I'll actually use, because I'll have used up like over 20 lip products, and then I might be better at letting things go because I know like I'm not going to use that. I absolutely hated panning this other thing that was super similar, or I am going to use that. I'm gonna just like use it naturally because when I panned it, it was super easy, and I'm okay keeping that. But to go through really quickly, lip glosses, I have 32 lip glosses. I'm almost done with my Clinique ones. That'll hopefully be 31 soon. For tinted lip balm, I have 5. I'm almost done with 1, and then the 2 Revlon ones are so sheer, I'm just going to use them as regular lip balm, so those will probably get moved out pretty quickly. For lipsticks, I have, like bullet lipsticks, I have 28. A lot, that's where I have more of the full-size lip products, so that's going to be my area where it's harder to move things out, and I also love bullet lipsticks, so that's going to be even harder for me. Liquid lipstick, I have, mental math is not my friend today, I have 21. That does have a pretty even mix of full sizes and minis, so I think I'll be able to get a couple of the minis out, and then we'll see where I fall with the full-sized ones. Oh no, I have 22. I have a double that I forgot about. And then for lip pencils, I have 37. Now this includes lip liners and like chubbier lip pencil, lip crayon type products. So I have a lot of lip liners because I have a lot of different like colors and things. So that might be a little bit harder to whittle down, but I definitely do want to pan some of my nude lip liners. And then I have 3 of the L'Oreal lip palettes, and that would also be an interesting thing to do a pan that palette with. we'll see how I feel about that when it comes time to actually plan my 2022 projects. So that's everything. When I look at the spreadsheet, I get overwhelmed, and then when I work through and I actually think through everything and think about all the things that I want to pan, I actually feel much better about it. And also, when I sit at my collection and I look at everything, it all makes me happy. It all makes me want to play. I really love playing with products. So it's something that, while yes, I realize I have an unnecessary amount of lip liner. I'm not lip products. I have an unnecessary amount of eyeshadows. I'm not saying that this is normal or this is what I should have. I also don't want to get rid of most of it right now. So I'm not going to sit here and shame myself for enjoying the things that I already own. So this is where I am now. And I'm really hoping in the next, we're at the end of April, so in the next 8 months, I can bring down my primers. I can get my foundation concealers down to like one with maybe one backup, and definitely move out some lip products through my various projects. So that is going to be kind of my goals for the next thing. Eyeliner is also an area that I want to focus on. And then my setting sprays, I use setting spray like it's going out of style, so I'm sure that'll definitely be limited as well. So that is everything for today's video. Make sure to comment what you think, how you like my organizational setup. If I had a collection that was anything bigger than this, I would probably do it in a very different way. But since this is my collection right now and I'm hoping to make it smaller, it's working for me right now. Other than that, I am really happy with how everything is going. So that is everything I have for you today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that I get to see you again in a future video. Thanks so much, you guys.